I see a lot of videos out there with people removing tampos from Hot Wheels or Matchbox cars. Most of them use a chemical means, usually acetone, to remove the tampo. If you watch any of my channel, you know that I love chemistry, but this is one area I forego chemical methods for a mechanical method. The reason I don't use any chemicals to remove the tampos is that it always affects the underlying paint negatively. Usually it dulls the paint. So the way I remove them is by simply buffing them off. This is done with a simple Dremel and a buffing wheel. Notice that I said buffing wheel and not polishing wheels that you buy at the local box store. Those will take the paint right off. You need to buy buffing wheels. You can get them from Amazon and eBay. These are much softer than polishing wheels. I will also be using some rubbing compound. Rubbing compound is a little bit more abrasive than polishing compound. You can use polishing compound, but it won't take them off as fast. The process is simple and you're watching it in real time. I apply some of the compound to the tampo and then hit it with the buffing wheel. After a few passes, I reapply more compound and go over it with the wheel once again. Rinse, repeat until the tampo is gone. What I like about this process is that it removes the tampo about as fast as the acetone method, but the paint is unaffected and is super polished when you're done. I simply wash the car off with water to remove any remaining rubbing compound and I'm finished. As you might guess, you do need to take care of any raised areas on the car, as the wheel will attack these raised areas more aggressively than smooth areas. You can also get away without using the wheel and just using a finger and compound to rub the tampos off, but this will take some time. The process works on pretty much any tampo. Here I'm removing the large W from the roof of this Continental. I sped up this video as a larger tampo takes longer to remove and would be boring to watch in real time. When removing these tampos from the roof or hood, make sure you have the windshield in. Don't worry, the buffing wheel won't hurt the windshield. You want to leave this in to help keep the buffing wheel from catching the edges. This drives the wheel into the car and could damage the paint. The windshield helps keep this from happening. Also, once you have removed the tampo from one area, try not to keep polishing that area. And just like polishing a real car, always keep the buffing wheel moving. Here's how the roof looked after I was done. The windshield is wet on the inside and is not damaged. Alright, so I can already hear you through the internet asking, well, what about the sides where you have details like doors and handles? Sure, those can be done too. I find that it's easier in most cases to take the car apart to do the sides. This way you don't damage the base. One of the things you will notice is that it is difficult to remove any tampos from recessed areas like around the doors. I find the best thing to do here is just to cover them with panel line markers. This helps detail the car anyway and keeps me from messing up the paint trying to remove the tampos from these areas. So if you've ever wondered why I'm not a missing tampo error car collector, yeah, it doesn't take much practice to get good at this, especially on hoods and roofs. High detail cars are more difficult, but they're also more difficult for Mattel to put the tampos on, so you don't see a lot of high detail cars with tampos on them. Oh yeah, if you were wondering about pop culture cars, no, it doesn't work here, as Mattel applies a clear coat over the tampos. It does, however, polish them up really nice. Alright, I hope this has been helpful and another tool in your inventory of tools when it comes to customizing these cars. You do have to be a little selective on the tampos you remove with this, and any method, chemical or mechanical, but with a little practice you can remove these without messing up the original paint. Anyway, let me know your thoughts below. If you have a good way of removing the decals or tampos from these pop culture cars, I would love to hear it. I'm sure I could eventually chew my way through the clear coat and then through the decal, but it would definitely take some time. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.